So today we had some big fight news come up per Dana White. The official announcement of Mexican Independence Day, Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Kelvin Gastelum and Alexa Grasso versus Valentina Shevchenko is now official for that date on September 16th, which again is Mexican Independence Day. And let's talk about Shavkat versus Kelvin. This is going to be a banger of a fight. But when it comes to breaking it down, I just kind of have to pick Shavkat here. There's just too much evidence to lead me to suggest that Shavkat is going to win. Now, obviously, this is my initial thought, so I haven't done some thorough research yet, which I plan to do on in the future. But based off first glance, Shavkat has this one totally in the bag, let's be honest. Kelvin's moving down from 185 from middleweight, where he lost at middleweight. So he's going back down to welterweight to fight Shavkat, who is arguably that next title contender, that next title challenger. And this fight for Shavkat is like a filler episode. It's that little episode you might skip so that you can get back onto the main story later down the show. The rest of the division is pretty much all booked up right now. So that kind of leaves Shavkat on an island waiting for a matchup. So this is a blessing for him pretty much to have Kelvin move down to 170, which took him long enough. It took him forever to finally go back down to 170. It's been a long time coming for him. He was severely undersized at middleweight, and Kelvin Gastelum had no business at all truly being a middleweight. The fact that he was in that division for so long and had some sort of success against Adesanya, honestly, like, it's a blessing for him. But him going back down to 170 to fight Shavkat is a terrible matchup for him because Shavkat has nobody else to fight. And so since Kelvin Gastelum is the only one available, that would be a somewhat decent win at welterweight. He drew the unlucky straw. He got the shortest end of the stick here, and he gets Shavkat Rakhmonov on Mexican Independence Day. And it's going to be a pretty much, I think, brutalization from Shavkat with the boxing, maybe a little bit of grappling, but mostly just scrapping on the feet. If Jeff Neal could not put down and put away Shavkat with his hands, I don't see a chance in the world that Kelvin Gastelum can, because he's not going to grapple. There's a chance that he will try to shoot a takedown, but I don't think with Shavkat's defense, he's going to be able to be successful in that at all. So it's going to be totally a stand-up fight. And the way Shavkat looked against Jeff Neal, he can take a punch and he can give a punch, and he can be really resilient in the later rounds. So at best, I can see Kelvin Gastelum losing in an absolute war, an absolute scrap. But at worst, which is what I truly see happening, is him getting totally pieced up and outpointed by Shavkat for 3 rounds? Because it's a co-main event, so 3 rounds. It's going to be Shavkat just putting it on and piecing him up, using his hands to his advantage and just kneeing the body in the clinch. Shavkat has really nasty, and I mean incredibly nasty, knees in the clinch. I can just see him getting in close, getting in tight with Kelvin Gastelum, maybe eating some shots on the way in, but landing some haymaker of knees to that flabby body that will now be probably less flabby than it was in middleweight, but that flabby body of Kelvin Gastelum. And it really does suck because I do want to see Kelvin Gastelum succeed in the UFC. His win over Chris Curtis was a great moment for him. He was finally able to get some bread and get some money for him with that win. But now he's moving down to 170, which I think is a smart decision. But fighting Shavkat, when you have that made 170, and I don't know how long, I think it's been years since last time we've seen Kelvin Gastelum at 170. Him fighting Shavkat is not going to be a good matchup for him. And he might honestly get chinned. I think we can see Shavkat just KO him on the feet. We haven't seen Kelvin Gastelum in so long at 170. And his chin is honestly really solid. We saw in numerous fights him able to take damage against Adesanya. He even got dropped by Cannonier. I would more so say that his recovery is elite. But moving down to 170, we know how weight cuts affect fighters. It can make your chin worse. And him coming back down when it's been so long can make his chin worse. And Shavkat is that guy who's going to test your chin. He's going to be in the pocket, landing hard shots on you, and you're going to have to be able to eat some. You're going to have to be able to take some damage against him. And Kelvin is that guy to take damage. I don't really see him getting KO'd at all, but I can definitely see him getting dropped in a couple rounds. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he gets dropped in the first and second round in this matchup. So I am worried for Kelvin Gastelum, but I do think that Shavkat Rakhmonov has this one totally in the bag. I want to touch on Shevchenko versus Grasso 2, or flip that around, Grasso versus Shevchenko 2, since now Grasso is the champion. If you didn't know that, the champion's name comes first. A person who's higher ranked comes first. I talked about this last Friday. Love the matchup, and I'm so happy that it's on a fight night card. It's a fight night main event. We love seeing title fights being on a fight night. I love free things in the UFC. When a title fight is free, I'm damn sure going to tune in to watch it. But who's going to win? And I'm going to go ahead. I'm worried about this, honestly, but I'm going to go ahead and take Shevchenko to get her belt back. I think that she will be more motivated to get it back after losing it to Grasso, which you can kind of argue with that or play around with that argument, saying that Grasso just got the belt. She has not made her money in her career yet like Shevchenko has. But I think that Shevchenko losing her belt, she looked really embarrassed when she lost it. Like, she looked totally upset with herself, and then the way she tapped was like, it was like, fuck, I have to tap. Like, she was pissed off. So I think that Shevchenko going to come back and be more motivated that we've ever seen, and not really give a Nunes-esque performance, but I would say kind of similar to the way she was fighting her in the first fight with Grasso, having some issues on the feet, having trouble with the boxing of Alexa Grasso, but eventually starting to get a little bit ahead of her and pulling ahead as the rounds go on. So I can see Shevchenko probably winning this 3-2 and a pretty decent scrap. Grasso landing some heavy shots and Shevchenko landing some good leg kicks as always, because Grasso is boxing heavy. So I can see Shevchenko just really getting the advantage of her as the rounds goes on. But that's all I really have for you guys today. I kind of wanted to get a video out at least. I had really no topics to discuss right now. I was going to talk about Ortega being ranked number 3 or 4 instead of Ilia Topuria, but that video was just too hard to make and it was kind of boring, I'm not going to lie. But so I decided to do some little news breakdown for you guys. Probably do some more videos like these in the future, but that's all I have. Again, appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, hit that bell icon, and peace.